Welcome everyone to another episode of Shine Insiders Live. I'm so excited to be here today with the incredible Brian De Lorenzo. And Brian is going to share some of his story today around how he had gone from slogging along with his PR and marketing to stepping into becoming a highly visible phenom. And he is a singer, songwriter, actor extraordinaire. He has been named top 10 of New York Cabaret. He has his own label, Cabaret Classics. He is a force to be reckoned with. He has performed at some of the most incredible venues around the globe. And some of those places include the Metropolitan Room, the Iridium, Don't Tell Mama, 88's, the New York Cabaret Convention. He's performed at so many festivals. Let's see, the Pheasantry Club in London, the Palm and the Incanto in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The list is endless here. So we have some really wonderful things that people have said about Brian as well. Entertainment writer John Hoagland said, De Lorenzo has a penchant for songs that pack a profound punch. In this regard, he is always committed and gives thrilling interpretations of old and new gems that speak from the soul. And I'm really happy to welcome you here today, Brian. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Heather. It's a pleasure to be here.
Beautiful. Now, we met a while back, and I would love for you to just tell a little bit more about your background. Like, where were you when we met? What were you working on? How are things going? And just talk a little bit about what it was like to step into deciding to work on your higher visibility.
Well, I felt like, as you said, I was slogging along with my visibility, not being seen as much as I would like to, because I really want to share what's in my heart with everybody. So I had a website that I was updating regularly, but it wasn't that interesting to look at. So I don't think many people were seeing it. I wasn't sending out press releases on a regular basis about shows that were coming up. I did a little bit of that. But I decided I took one of your free workshops, and I thought, okay, yeah, I think this could help me move to the next step. So I decided, okay, let's do it. And I'm a person who likes to have the guidance. I'm not very good at working on my own without the goalposts to look forward to. So it's been very helpful to have you coaching me in my visibility. So I thank you for that. So I've redone my whole website. It's completely different. I got a logo created for the website, and things are picking up.
I love that. And that's what, I think you're a great example of people in this community. And so many of the people watching they have been doing what they've been doing for a while. They're really good at it. They're experts in their own right. They have their followings. But it's really about getting to that broader audience and making sure that the rest of the world knows about the incredible work you're doing. So yeah, with you, I feel like it was all there. It was like we just needed to do a little revamping on some of the positioning and the packaging and how you were putting yourself out there. And then of course the presenting piece of where are you showing up and getting in front of, whether it's the media, and making more efforts in those areas to make sure that we're getting the word out about the shows that you have coming up, the single that you just had come out recently, right? You've got some albums. And so it's really just, being your own messenger to let people know. And you've been doing a great job at that. So what would you say has been your favorite part of, stepping into higher visibility?
Well, I think knowing that more people are going to be able to experience my music, because why I'm not singing for myself for my own benefit. I sing and I write because I want to share it with people. So it's it's encouraging to know that more and more people will get to hear my music.
Yeah. And I remember, in the beginning, that was a big piece of really diving deeper with you, was into your why, which was so close to your heart, and really letting people know that that is one of your biggest passions. Can you talk a little bit about, connecting with audiences and what that means to you?
Yes. So it reminds me of when I was in college. We did a concert tour of Israel, and that was my first time out of the United States. And one song that we sang was an African American spiritual called "Ain't Got Time to Die," and I was the featured soloist on that. And I remember in in a concert hall in Rehoboth, Israel, of this just sort of almost out of body experience where I knew there was this connection with the audience and the connection with the universe. It just felt so right. And so when that happens, and it's rare that it happens, but one wants to make it happen more. And during lockdown, I know a lot of people were feeling very down and were missing a connection with other people. And a phrase came to me just one day called "Things Will Get Better," and I thought, that would be a good title for a song. So I sat down and I wrote it. It took a while, but it ended up being my first solo foray into songwriting. I'd worked with a couple of other people writing lyrics for me, but this is one where I decided I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna write the lyrics, write the music, and I premiered it last November, and then I decided I want to record this and share it with the world. So I worked with my recording engineer, and we added instrumentation, and I released it in May. So I was very excited about that.
I think there was also, because that was like pandemic era, there were some delays, I think, getting it out there, right? Wasn't it like that it was a bit of a challenge to, get it all done and get it out there, because now it's May 2023 that you finally were able to get it out of the world. Can you talk a little bit about the challenges that you came across?
Well, part of the challenge is knowing when you're finished, when you're finished writing, because there's a lot of rewriting and looking at it from a different angle. So it took me a while to say, okay, yeah, I got to do this one more thing, and now I feel like it's done. And that's when, probably summer of last year, or maybe, yeah, summer, August, September, when I was planning a concert in November, and it was going to be a CD release concert of my prior CD that didn't happen because of COVID. But I thought, well, why don't I decide to sing this new song that I wrote at the concert? And that's when I said, okay, I think it works. Let's let's now record it officially and get it out to the world.
Beautiful. And I think that is a link we're sharing here in the post. So if you want to go hear the song, you can go check it out on the Spotify link. So yeah, it's just a beautiful song, and I just love your heart. And I could see how much you were moved when you even thought back to that time of that concert, like connecting with people. And so can you speak a little more to your mission around this uplifting people's spirit?
Well, I'm a person who loves to sing ballads, and when you're at a piano bar and you hear everybody singing ballads, it gets to be tedious, or it can be tedious. So I try to do up tempos, but also I think doing an uplifting song just it helps even more to move each individual in the audience. And I was looking back on my first album called Found Treasures and noticed that there are at least 3 songs on that recording that I consider uplifting. They're very positive. You just listen to them and you think, oh, I'm going to have a great day because of the song. And one of them is called Who Will Buy. It's from the musical Oliver. And it's just a fun, happy, the sun is out. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful day. Another one is called Let Me Fall. And it's from a Cirque du Soleil show called Quidam. And the first time I heard this song from the show recording, I thought, wow, that's amazing. It's gorgeous. I have to sing this. And it's essentially about freeing yourself to fall, to make mistakes, and trusting that you will be able to pick yourself up after those mistakes.
Oh, beautiful. Right. Yeah. What did they say? That it's not about falling down. It's just about getting back up. Right. That's the key thing to remember when you fall. Oh, that's beautiful. A
Right.
beautiful message. And
yeah,
it's really been wonderful watching your evolution and journey and transformation as you stepped into higher visibility, getting featured in more media, really putting yourself out there. Can you speak a little bit to that inner journey? Because I think you would probably identify as more on the introverted side, like myself. I also identify more on that side. Could you speak a little bit to what that has been like on the inner side?
Well, as an introvert, I don't mind spending time alone. In fact, I enjoy spending time alone because I can work in my head on the things that I want to work on. But that also makes it harder to go out into the world and share. So it is definitely a challenge for me. But as I said earlier, having you just gently pushing me to take more steps to put myself out there. It's scary, but any kind of change can be scary. Not hugely scary, but I'm when you take those steps and you realize, well, that didn't end up being as hard as I thought it might be. So that's kind of a thing that keeps one going and progressing. So
Yeah.
I continue to work on that.
Yeah, just leaning into those edges. And yeah, so I like to say my team and I were there to kind of gently nudge you along and hold you accountable and just be there, like the kind of net that catches you when you're hitting up on those edges and those challenging pieces of the journey, which sometimes are, the inner side of things coming up around stepping out in a bigger way. And then there's also just the strategy side of okay, well, what do I do next? I did this, now what happens? And being able to help guide that process. And you've been so great at doing the inner and the outer work and getting the actual tangible results. So it's been such a joy to watch you in your journey. And I would love to hear what you would say to somebody else that maybe is where you were a few months back when you thought of maybe really committing a little deeper into this journey, which you did. What would you say to someone that's maybe where you were a few months back about making that choice?
I would say if you really have the inner desire to go out into the world, to express yourself, to share what's in your heart with other people, this is a great program that you have to help that along. One of the strategies that you recommend is writing, and I'm a singer. I'm not used to writing articles about things. Although I think I'm a good writer. I'm not an exceptional writer, but I did start writing for Medium, the sort of blogging website. I don't even know what you would call it now. It's sort of an online magazine for thousands of people. But I started writing for that on subjects that interest me, which are lyricists, and specifically female lyricists, because I don't think women in the arts who are writers have gotten their due. So I felt compelled to write about female lyricists. So I did two articles this summer. Then things got busy with vacations and recording projects and stuff. So I do want to get back to doing that.
I love that. Yeah. And that's a lot of times with the people who are more introverted, we will really focus on the different aspects of your writing that you can get out there. And it's always interesting too, I think, for people to hear that creatives who are used to being in front of a microphone or a camera, that they have some qualms about putting themselves out there in that bigger way. But when you come to media, whether it's your own media, new media, or mainstream media, there are sometimes some qualms around putting oneself out there in a bigger way. And that's, you dove into the contributing writing and have your own blog on Medium now, which is a high profile blogging platform where, yeah, you can get exposure to so many people. And it's just been so great seeing you just dive into these new aspects of getting yourself out there. And there's so many ways to do it. And I think one of my biggest platforms out there is, everyone's doing social media, but they're forgetting to have the PR plan. And I talk to people all the time that are so exhausted with endless social media content posting and creation, and thinking that they have to do more social media to get out there in a bigger way. And I'm here to say, no, not necessarily. There's another way, and it doesn't always, include social media. It's really a part, like when you look at the PR pie of like all the things you can do to become visible, social media is a sliver on that pie. So it's not everything, but the world and, the world we live in, everyone has made that the whole pie. So I love being able to be out here sharing with people. There are a lot of different things you can do and ways to do it. And you're one of those people showing, the example of what can be done. And I'd love to hear a little bit more about what's coming up for you next. I know you've got a couple albums in the work. You've got, I think, a festival coming up. Where are people going to be able to hear and see you coming up?
Well, I am currently working on a big band project, which will end up being 2 albums. I'm hoping to release the first one end of March, end of April. It's tough when you're dealing with so many instrumentalists. We have 10 instrumentalists in the recording studio. We still have some more songs to record, and then there's all the mixing and then all of the artwork and stuff that has to be done. So the hope is by the end of April, we'll have the first of the 2 albums out. And the next big performing will be in June at CabaretFest in Provincetown, Massachusetts. I've been doing CabaretFest a number of times since the year that it was founded, which was in 2000. So this will be 24 years. And I'll be one of the featured performers. It's all about the golden age of nightclubs. And I want to pay tribute to Sammy Davis Jr. and Frank Sinatra, who were big nightclub artists in the 50s and 60s. And I think Sammy Davis Jr. doesn't get the recognition that he deserves, because he was such an amazing overall performer, dancer, singer, entertainer. So I'm looking forward to putting that together.
Yeah, such an incredible performer, and I love it. So it sounds like it's going to be Sammy and Sinatra at the Sands is going to be
Yes.
thing that you're doing. Beautiful. And then the albums, you've got the Great American Songbook from the 40s to the 70s. I mean, this is going to be amazing. So everyone stay tuned. Wait to see more. The next big thing from Brian. Check out his single in the meantime. And then also there's a kind of a fun little fact here that you said for the album cover, you've got a caricaturist from Andy Warhol's studio, that's where he got his start, who has done a portrait of you that will be the cover. So we can't wait to see that. So feel free to share when that's all ready. And let's see, I think you also have a special gift for our community. Do you want to share what that is?
Yes. So we were talking earlier about my first recording called Found Treasures, which, as I said, has 3 uplifting songs on it. I thought it might be nice to make it almost free for people who are watching. So I decided to price it at 1 cent until 10 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. And the shipping will, of course, I need to cover the shipping, so that will be $4.99. So it makes it $5 for an actual physical CD. And I hope some people will take advantage of that.
Thank you. That's such a lovely gift. And yes, for all this traditionalists here that like the tangible, actual having a CD, you can still pop it in your car if you have, your CD players. That's fantastic. I know my car, even the new ones, still have the CD players, so that's fun. You can go crank it up while driving down
Right.
the highway.
And it's chock full of music, 16 songs, or 16 tracks. It's actually more than 16 songs because there's also a secret hidden track.
Ooh, fun. Okay. We love surprises and bonuses in the community. So just another fun thing for everyone to tap into here. And any last thoughts today, Brian, before we wrap up, on any maybe inspirational words for anyone out there who maybe is even just going through a bit of a tough time right now and looking for some inspiration?
Well, I think the title of my single kind of sums it up. If you're feeling down, even if you've been feeling down for quite a while, things will get better. And part of that is turning your thought process around and acknowledging that in the past things have gotten better for you, so it's likely that they'll get better again. So don't let those down moments, those valleys, define your life.
Beautiful message. Yeah, it's true. Things do seem to always have a way of working out. And I think so much of it does depend on as you said, our attitude and our mindset around it, and remembering, in the past when things did get better for you. So go ahead, click on the link, listen to Brian's song for an uplifting moment in your day today. And stick around in the community. We're going to have more guests coming soon, and feel free to read the description to get more info about Brian, his background, how to stay in touch with him. And also the link is in there if you want to grab his CD. So thank you so much, Brian. It was wonderful to have you here as our special guest today.
Thank you so much, Heather. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon.